Hi, I'm Sarabika Sharan, and today I have the pleasure of introducing Stephen Sammons from the Silent Film Festival in San Francisco, and Arwen de Castellanos from Cascada de Flores, who will be accompanying the film Tepeyac.
We're showing a film from Mexico this year called Tepeyac. It's from 1917.
Del cielo inspiración, tienes el nombre encantador.
We're getting it from the archive in Mexico City, Filmoteca de la UNAM. And actually the Director General of the archive is going to come and introduce the film too. His name is Ivan Trujillo. And this is considered the first film treatment of the story of the Virgin of Guadalupe. So it's an amazing cultural document. This is from 1917, Mexico. I'm sure very few people have seen this. So we're really excited to be presenting it.
Well, it's amazing because you've got all of the pieces together for essentially a collaborative work, like a collaborative artistic moment.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Like the filmmaking is a collaborative art form, which sets it apart from a lot of other art. But then we're doing a collaborative live performance. You know, I'm showing movies that are 80 or 90 years old, but it's a contemporary art form because I get to involve these great musicians who get to create a contemporary response to it.
There's going to be a soundtrack to the films as well.
We are a group that happens to be very passionate about that time period and music that was happening. We initially begun exploring music from Mexico, diverse rhythms and popular song that was coming out of that exact time period, the early 1900s. And then that brought us to part of the roots of that music, which is music from Cuba, the Cuban trova. And during that exact time period, there was a lot of conversation between Mexico and the rest of the Caribbean and the Spanish-speaking world, as well as the United States. And it was just a really dynamic time musically. A lot of traveling theater groups would have music, and they would come and share what was current in their country at that time. And that's how music would travel and things would blossom.
You know, we're just big movie lovers, and so we all spent lots of hours in rep houses watching movies. When you try and watch movies from the 20s, suddenly there's no access. Movie theaters couldn't show them. So we thought, well, what's the deal? Why can't you see movies from the beginning of film history? And so we started investigating that, and we found out that's because of how rare they are and how few were saved. You're talking about an era before archives, when nobody thought that you should be saving these things. That only started to happen in the mid-30s. So we decided, well, let's start a festival and get access so people can see them. If you say silent film, most people think of Charlie Chaplin, and that's about as far as it goes. But in the first 2 decades of the history of film, you had film artists discover that it was an art form and create very complex, very mature, very adult, real, rich artistic works.
La Virgen de Guadalupe is so many things for so many people. They touch upon it in the movie. They talk about the boyfriend. For him, the Virgin of Guadalupe represents the bandera that Hidalgo used upon going into the, used as a motivation for the War of Independence 100 years before this film in the Revolution. She has been a uniting factor and a symbol that has united so many people.
And Aniversario de la Muerte de la Suegra de Enhart is considered the first fiction film.
Al pasar un arroyuelo, vi de una joven
And it's basically low physical comedy. So it's sort of interesting that for their first fiction film, they decided to do something that had very broad mass appeal. The comedy team that appear in the film of Enhart and Alegria were evidently very popular music hall comedians in the era. Again, we've been able to find very little information about it. In fact, the film sort of spearheads the drive to want to see if we can find out more about this. It seems to be a missing part of the culture.
These are the 2 albums by Cascada de Flores, which will be available at the screening that you can purchase beforehand and listen to before the film.
The silent film from Mexico is being presented on Saturday, July 12th at 3:45 in the afternoon at the Castro.
tu esperanza le pasó lo que a la mía. No sé si el corazón peca, llorona, en aras de un tierno amor, por una linda teguana y llorona, más hermosa que una flor. Ay, 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 llorona, llorona, tú eres mi yuca. Me quitarán de quererte a llorona, pero de olvidarte nunca. Salías del templo un día, llorona, cuando al pasar yo te vi. Salías del templo un día, llorona, cuando al pasar yo te vi. Hermoso huipil llevabas, llorona, que la Virgen te creí. Hermoso huipil llevabas, llorona, que la Virgen te creí. Ay, 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 llorona, llorona de ayer y hoy. Pero ay, 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 llorona, llorona de ayer y hoy. Ayer maravilla fui, llorona, y ahora ni sombra soy. Ayer maravilla fui, llorona, y ahora ni sombra soy. No sé qué tienen las flores, llorona, las flores del campo santo, que cuando las mueve el viento, ay, llorona, parece que están llorando. Ay, 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 llorona, llorona de azul celeste. Aunque la vida me cueste, llorona, no dejaré de quererte. Las campanas que nos dicen, llorona, sus esquilas van volteando. Las campanas que nos dicen, llorona, sus esquilas van volteando. Si mueres, muero contigo, ay, llorona, y si vives, te sigo amando. Si mueres, muero contigo.